time has come to once again answer life's most savory question. Whose cuisine reigns supreme? This is Iron Chef America.
Three, two, one. Time's up.
A delectable Japanese tradition has taken root in American soil. We have been graced with the establishment of our very own kitchen stadium, where our nimble chairman has brought together the pungent flavors of East and West. It is here where the best of the best from around the world meet and face the ultimate gourmet challenge. Welcome to Kitchen Stadium, where an army of top-notch culinarians and a big old batch of skilled television professionals crank out the best reality, variety, culinary combat show on the face of the earth. Why do we do it? Because the chairman wants it that way, and we live to serve the chairman. So please allow me to introduce a veritable pantheon of culinary giants. Your very own Iron Chefs, America. Iron Chef Bobby Flay. Iron Chef Masaharu Morimoto. Iron Chef Mario Batali. And Iron Chef Kat Cora. In mere moments, one of these Iron Chefs will be pitted against our challenger, who thirsts to discover our secret ingredient and enter the heat of battle here in Kitchen Stadium. Today's challenger had the honor of serving the first family of the United States as executive chef at the White House from 1994 until 2005. He is passionate about America's bounty, which is why he founded the American Chef, a company that recreates White House-style special events organized by the ultimate White House culinary insider. The chairman now welcomes Chef Walter Scheib.
Chef Scheib, welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
You have created state dinners and late-night snacks for presidents. But are you prepared for Kitchen Stadium?
Let's get it on.
Which of the Iron Chefs would you like to test yourself against?
I think based on our use of great American ingredients and great full flavors, I challenge Iron Chef Kat Cora.
Excellent choice. Now, let the battle begin!
Wow, what a great choice by the challenger. Chef Scheib knows that Iron Chef Cora is a master at blending her southern roots with the cuisine of her Greek heritage. So he must feel confident that his passion for classic American flavors will be enough to challenge Iron Chef Cora.
But there is one more ingredient to this battle. Our secret ingredient. The theme on which our chefs will offer their succulent variations. Today's secret ingredient is Dungeness crab! So now, America, with an open heart and an empty stomach, I say unto you in the words of my uncle,
boys, you got a date with destiny. And Battle of Cancer Magister is on. The Dungeness crab, famed of the west coast of the United States. And we see several quickly going to their maker over on Iron Chef Kat Cora's side. They're filling two gigantic pots of boiling water just to the absolute top. Over on the challenger side, Walter Scheib taking a little more of a leisurely approach, letting his crabs kind of scuttle around there on the countertop for a bit. And we see prep work going down very quickly on that side. Both of these men worked with Chef Scheib in the White House, so they are all very used to each other's style and speeds. Sous Chef Patrice breaking down some onions there. Chef Scheib now with some plantains out on his board. He is running those through a mandolin. Maybe that he's slicing those to fry them to make chips. Or we could bake them, roast them, there's no telling. Iron Chef Kat Cora loading up her little mini food processor bowl there with what looks to be some escaloettes. Those are a fiery pepper found mostly in the Basque region of France. some red bell peppers, and now onion going into that processor as well. And we've got some wok action already happening over on the Challenger side. I see some bay leaf in there. We've also got some garlic, leeks, carrot, thyme, some onions with the skins, which is interesting. And you see plantain strips already over in the deep fryer. So Chef Scheib is in fact making those pieces into chips. Sous Chef Vincent starting to break down some crab. These are the ones that Chef Scheib dropped off on his board earlier. Let's go down on the floor and check in with my friend Kevin Brosh. How are things, Kevin?
Well, you're in good shape, Alton. You're seeing most of what's happening here in Kitchen Stadium. On the Challenger side, sous chef Patrice was taking some of the Dungey crabs, splitting them right down the middle, scooping out the inside meat. And the only thing a bit of weird on the Challenger side, this microwave.
You know, I, for one, am glad to see a microwave. They're very practical tools. They're very predictable.
Brian, one of the sous chefs on Cat Cora's side of Kitchen Stadium, put some tapioca into a pot and is sliced some chorizo into a pot of dark chicken stock.
So right now we're seeing mostly the kind of work that produces those flavor bases. Looking in the wok over on the Challenger side, we saw a lot of crabs go into that. This is mostly shells and legs. No, there's some definitely some whole meat there as well. I see sous chef Patrice is now chopping some carrots and celery, some fennel on that board too. That Patrice is a slicing and dicing machine. We should just call him Patrice-o-Matic. Let's take a look over on Iron Chef Cat Cora's side. She has added some egg to the items in the hand blender and then pureed it all. That puree now going into a bowl. Her sous chef Eric cracking some eggs into a bowl. The Iron Chef now cutting up some chilies. We can see her splitting that down the middle and then doing a julienne cut on that long ways. We can see Patrice taking apart some sweet potatoes, it appears, very, very quickly. My goodness, but he's good.
Earlier, he was working on a classic mirepoix of onions, carrots, and celery. I don't know where that's gone.
That has actually gone into one of those pots on the stove with some crabs, but we'll keep an eye on it. We can now see Chef Scheib filleting some large tomatoes. You see him scooping down that paring knife, taking out the inside. He's really just wanting the outer flesh, or what we call the fillet of the tomato. His sous chef Vincent has taken the crab out of the wok and put that into a pan. Those crabs now headed into the oven. Sous chef Patrice now dropping the sweet potato into a pot with onion and olive oil. Cat Cora, ginger on her board.
Yeah, galangal, yeah. I'm
sorry, it is galangal, which is a member, very close cousin to ginger, but has a slightly, I think, more kind of a peppery, more pronounced flavor. The Iron Chef's crab still boiling away in that pot. Her sous chef Eric is working with some black hibiscus tea and gelatin. Tea jello, cool. The Iron Chef has combined her diced peppers and galangal, and she's spooning out some avocados now. Very, very quiet here in Kitchen Stadium. As I look around, still a lot of prep work, slicing and dicing going on the Challenger's board. Got some onion in a pot there. Also on the Challenger side, I see sous chef Patrice peeling the husks off of some corn. Those now going onto a burner. On Cat Cora's side, Eric is slicing up some Asian pear, a little crisper, I think, than most American varieties, and with a slight apple twang to them. See some brandy coming out over on the Challenger side. Sous chef Patrice setting the pot of mirepoix and crab on fire. The alcohol quickly burning off, of course, and some stock being added to that pot now.
Cat Cora on her side of Kitchen Stadium has a pot of coconut milk, lemongrass, and curry powder.
I spy that. Iron Chef Cora now pulling those whole crab out of the water and setting them in some ice baths to help stop the cooking. Over on the Challenger side, Vincent has got a little sliced pancetta. He's got that going into the convection oven. Pancetta, of course, being a cured pork product from the belly of the pig.
This may be the fastest team of challenges we've had here in Kitchen Stadium for some time. Everyone is just moving with enormous speed.
They are indeed, Kevin. But with only 49 minutes left in the battle, time is always a concern. Sous chef Patrice now cutting the charred kernels off the cobs of corn. A little further down, the equally speedy Vincent is finally chopping some almonds. Those now going into a pan with some onions and sugar in it. Ooh, chef got hold of a bad avocado there, and that happens. And he's not liking that one either. Do not wave your knife at me. I did not buy the produce, chef.
Maybe you should have.
The chef Scheib not happy with the looks of the avocado today. And we've got a big fire. We've got some charcoal being started on a small grill grate on the wok burner. Of course, you shouldn't try this at home, kids. Not only are the fumes from charcoal quite dangerous, you can burn the house down. There, over on the Iron Chef side, our eye in the sky, looking down on a big wallop of crab meat down in a bowl. Much like lobsters, these crabs are not naturally red. That carotenoid pigment is tied up in a protein matrix that's released during the cooking process. Well, the heat is on and the flames are growing here in Kitchen Stadium. It's Iron Chef Cat Cora taking on Chef Walter Scheib in Battle Dungeness Crab. The Iron Chef has her whole crabs out of the water. A puree of peppers, onion, and scallion is standing by in one bowl, while diced peppers, galangal, and avocado are standing by in another bowl. The challenger, Walter Scheib, has crabs that have been wok fried and are now roasting in the oven. Patrice-o-Matic has mirepoix and crab on the stove, and the deep-fried plantains are on the counter and standing by. We'll get back to the action when Iron Chef America returns. Hi kids, welcome back to Kitchen Stadium. This is Iron Chef America Battle Dungeness Crab. It is raging on between the challenger, Chef Scheib, and Iron Chef Kat Cora. The Iron Chef is cracking open her boiled crab and saving the livers into a bowl. Her hibiscus tea has been strained and added to a mix of milk and eggs. Some crab meat has been added to the pepper and onion puree. Now, the challenger, Chef Scheib, is slicing some new avocados. His roasted cord kernels are on the stove with some onion and crab stock, and some tomatoes have been sliced and placed in a pot. They've got some pretty good culinary noggins, but they're not the only ones in the house. I speak, of course, of our judges. And to introduce them, we will go to Kevin Brosh.
Thanks, Elton. Con Benoit, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Here come the judges. Our first judge is the food and wine specialist on the Emmy Award-winning Queer Eye. He's also an accomplished writer whose cookbook, The Food You Want to Eat, opens a world of culinary delights for the beginning cook, Ted Allen. Next, she won a Tony Award for her performance as the original Ula in the Broadway production of The Producers. She co-stars in the upcoming movie Romance and Cigarettes, which has been described as a down-and-dirty musical, Katie Huffman. Finally, he's a regular contributor to the dining section of the New York Times. He's the author of Pizza, A Slice of Heaven, and co-author with Chef Dave Pasternak of the upcoming Young Man in the Sea, Ed Levine.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll get back to the judges in just a minute, but first, let us catch up with the action on the floor. Iron Chef Kat Cora is adding some Dijon mustard and sriracha sauce to her puree. That's hot stuff. Before that, she added some olive oil and lime juice to her avocado and diced pepper mixture. Her sous chef Eric has placed some sliced ginger and Asian pear into a bowl, now beginning to break down some edamame, soybeans, of course. Her other sous chef Brian doing a nice fillet on some red and yellow peppers. I can now see the challenger, Chef Scheib, has his sliced avocado in a bowl with some basil, I think. Sous Chef Vincent grinding what appears to be cumin, coriander, and I think some cayenne pepper in that mortar and pestle you see there. Before that, he brought out some scallops and dropped them into the food processor. So sort of a scallop mousse or puree thing going on here. So now, with just 37 minutes left in Battle Dungeness Crab, we are all caught up. So let's go check with the judges.
I love crab. It's such a great taste all by itself. I don't know, everything looks fantastic.
Well, thanks for that insight.
I guess, know. There's not much. I'm just getting very hungry.
Okay, I'm going to leave you and go down to Ted. Ted, crab, you, talk about it now.
I'm feeling crabby. I think I've come to the right place. I love Dungeness crab. I have to say also, with the flavors and the ingredients that we're seeing both Iron Chef Cora and Chef Scheib putting into practice here, I can't wait to eat some of this stuff.
Let's move down to the other end of the table. Hyatt, are you a crab lover yourself?
To me, it is one of the truly superior tastes that someone can put before me, because there's such a wonderful texture and sweetness to Dungeness crab that is unmatched by any other ingredient.
Wow, it's a love ode to Dungeness crab. Thank you very much. We'll get back down onto the floor. Now, I'm starting to smell a lot of different aromas here. Looking over on the challenger side, I spy sous chef Patrice ladling some stock from the brandied mirepoix into the pot of boiling sweet potatoes. Chef Scheib is chopping up some Napa cabbage, and the lightning-fast Patrice is adding some honey to a pot. Can't handle that very quickly, can you? The Iron Chef adding some breadcrumbs to her crab puree mixture. Her sous chef Eric is adding those edamame to the small vessel there with the Asian pear. Her other sous chef Brian is adding slices of red and yellow peppers to a pot of tomatoes and onions. And we've also got some gosh darn big, those almost look like pomelos on Iron Chef Kat Cora's board.
These are Caracara oranges.
Caracara oranges?
Yep.
It is kind of a little bit like a blood orange as far as its color on the inside. Sweet. And is, of course, a navel orange. You see the challenger quickly dispatching a red onion, frenching that with what appears to be a Santuco. Down at the sink station, I see Vincent scooping the scallop mousse out of the food processor bowl and into some crab meat. Some cream now heading into the pot of honey on the stove. Over with the Iron Chef, they're adding some shredded crab meat to the small vessel with the edamame and pear in it, Asian pear. The mix of egg, milk, and hibiscus tea being added to that bowl also. So, a crab custard in the works there. Gosh, it seems, Kevin, that we saw way back when custard once in a bowl like that. It was a chawanmushi, or a traditional egg custard, and I wonder if that's something that our Chef Cora might be doing here. Over on the challenger side, still a lot of kind of prep work going on, a lot of slicing and dicing. You see him starting to julienne out that filet.